My name is Sergeant Jeff Petro, and I am a Fort Wayne Patrol Sergeant for the Fort Wayne Police Department. It's true that you can absolutely track a new officer from day one based on their faith. And I was the guy from day one that really didn't have Jesus in my life. I was the guy that had the nickname of Thumper when I was a new officer on the department, because if I told you to jump and you weren't 10 feet off of the ground by the time I enunciated the P for jump, I was gonna be hands-on with you. You get so jaded that it really messes with your mind and makes you bitter to the world. It did me anyway, until I gave my life to Jesus. I was the guy that believed that as long as you're doing right and you're not, a bad person, if you will, then you were good. And that, I believe that, everybody says that God is a ever-loving and all-forgiving guy, so, I'm good here. And then 9/11 happened, and that obviously jarred all of us. And then after that, my wife and I were taking my parents down to Florida, they're snowbirds, and my mom says, "I want you to read this book." And "No, Mom, I'm not gonna read that book. I don't like to read." And she says, "Just do me a favor and read this book." And it was the first book of the Left Behind series. And I'm telling you, I got about 2 paragraphs into it and turned to my wife and said, "Uh-oh, I'm gonna be the guy driving the car wondering where, what I mean? There's piles of clothes laying everywhere and I'm the guy still here." I gave myself to Christ shortly thereafter, and everything changed after that. The zone that I work is the Southeast Quadrant, and these are the people that I want to work for. There are a lot of very good, warm, loving people out here that you run into every day. And it's great, it's uplifting when you run into those people. And even the people who aren't that way, that we have to take police action with, the goal is to try to touch them in a way that at least they know, one, that just because I'm a police officer doesn't make me a bad person, and two, that people care for them. Even if it is me, somebody cares for them. It's all the time out here that you face situations that probably people think that I am mentally touched because I run towards it instead of away from it. But I love my job and I love this city, and I would protect it with my life. I have absolutely been in life and death situations, and obviously since we're having this conversation, I lived through it. I was thinking about this the other day, thinking it's more of really, at this point, you get frightened at times, but to me it's more like when somebody sneaks up behind you with a balloon, pops it behind you when you don't know they're coming, and you jump and whoa, we have that. That happens a lot. When you're going into a house and you know that the bad guy's in there and you really think he's probably armed and he really doesn't want to get caught, I guess anymore, it's more of a tactical tension that I feel now, that I don't want to get hurt and I don't want my partners to get hurt, but it's not really a fear anymore. It's almost like my faith is my shield. I'm not Superman, believe me, I'm not. But if I happen to die today, this is the first day of the rest of my life. The prayer that I would ask people pray for me and for all of the police officers that come to fellowship, and there are a lot more than you might imagine, is that God gives us the courage to be His light every day, to embrace even the worst of the worst and let them know that Jesus loves them, and give me the courage to be able to say that. If you want to pray that I come home safely, that's great too. But for me to let God give me the strength and the wisdom to know what to say to someone and when to say it and who to say it to, if He could guide me along so I could help people out here, that would be fantastic. And I know that He is.